Hello and welcome back to episode 2 of Sunday's Hell Dominance schedule. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you're seeing and if you want to continue seeing more. Coming up, day 2 fixtures of Magic Weekend, where we see the Giants take on the Red Devils, the Dragons face the Wolves, and the Robins take on local rivals, Hull FC. So as we mentioned, we move on to day 2 of the Magic Weekend with the highlights of all 3 games that were played at the venue, St James's Park. And they have a lot to live up to after the 3 exciting games, where 2 of which were very, very close and had all teams competing, while Leeds showed their dominance against Castleford. This resulted out in some good following from everyone in attendance, as there was 36,821 that came through the gates at St James's Park for day 1. So as I said, there were 3 games. First of all will be Huddersfield Giants versus Salford Red Devils. I'll come to them in a moment. Catalans Dragons play Warrington Wolves in the second game, as Catalans look to get on equal points with Wigan and even go into second place. While we have the Hull Derby, as Hull KR are the home team in this fixture against their black and white neighbours, Hull FC, at 5:30. Magic Weekend started off spectacularly for Huddersfield Giants, as the former Salford coach and their current head coach Ian Watson had agreed to sign a new contract with the Giants, keeping him at the club until 2016. Watson recently took the club in his second season to a Challenge Cup final at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Despite losing, showed admirable qualities to try and win that trophy, and almost did. But for the game itself, a few weeks ago, this would have been seemed like a foregone conclusion. But Salford's uptick in form coupled with Huddersfield's shock and comprehensive defeat to Castleford, the Giants looked unbeatable here. Salford have shown resolve all season, especially last week, and also have attacking prowess. So the Giants will have to be on top form to ensure they avoid defeat and don't endure a repeat of the Shock Magic defeat to Salford 10 years ago. The Giants could be without key prop Oliver Wilson, who was caught the eye this year after he copped a knee injury against Castleford, but has been included in the 20-man squad. However, there is a huge boost for the Giants with the return of Theo Farge to the squad, who could figure against his former side. Toby King could make his second appearance for his hometown club. As for Salford, Andy Ackers has been named despite coming off during last week's victory for Salford, should I say. Joe Burgess is also named despite not featuring last week against Warrington. Greg Burke and Elijah Taylor return to boost Salford's forward options. And with that, here are the confirmed teams. The backline of Salford has not changed since their victory against Warrington, as they see Joe Burgess not return to the side. Brodie Croft and Max Need will continue to lead round the squad, but it's more or less the same side for Salford in the forwards as well, as Jack Ormonrod, Sitaleki Akawala and Alex Gerrard provide the oomph for Andy Ackers to move them around. Harvey Levette and Callum Watkins are in the second row. Elijah Taylor does indeed return to the bench with Sam Luckley, Tyler Dupree and Chris Atkin. For the Huddersfield Giants, Tui Lolohea, Jermaine McGilvray and Leroy Cudjoe will provide the experience to move around the side, while Toby King and Innes Senior are the left-sided wingers. Ollie Russell and Theo Farge have been given the nod at halfbacks, while Joe Greenwood, Owen Trout and Luke Yates will be handily helped with Chris McQueen, their top try scorer, Sam Howard at the other second row position, and Danny Levi at acting halfback. Matty English, Jack Ashworth, Nathan Mason, and Ashton Golding all complete the bench. And it was Huddersfield that were first on the board as a great kick by Ollie Russell was chased down by Toby King, and after he beat the covering, I think it was Dion Cross, to the ball, he went in underneath the sticks. A simple change of angle from Theo Farge, and the outside backs kept in onside. And then after beating Cross, King, with all his determined and eyes just for the ball, see here, just looking at the ball, looking where the ball is, going to get it, got it. And he goes in underneath the sticks for 6-0 to Huddersfield. Huddersfield are starting to create momentum and position as they get into the Salford's 20. And it was a good swift spin and dive over the line by Owen Trout that got Huddersfield in yet again. It became 6 has now become 12 as Ollie Russell converted both the tries. Now it's a Huddersfield set play as Tuilola here starts pulling the strings, and after a fumble by Mark Sneed to get on the end of the kick through, it was Chris McQueen who gets over in the corner. The video referee was called to see if he's grounded the try, and he did, and it was 18 points to 0 after Ollie Russell converted the third try of the game for Huddersfield. It was all one-way traffic at this point. The despairing dives weren't enough for Salford to stop the Huddersfield forward going into 12 tries for the season, and becomes the leading try scorer for forwards in Super League so far. Salford start getting some momentum and field position as they keep hold of the ball, and it is a ball from Briley that finds Dion Cross, who does enough to hand off the would-be defender from Toby King and get over the line for Salford's first try of the game. Good strength by Cross here that sees him get over the line. Big fend, good strength. That made it 18 points to 6, but Huddersfield got a fortunate play the ball, scrum, after Reece Williams' fumble. And the scrum play out to the right-hand side sees Jermaine McGilvray go over. Great catch and pass by Tuilola here to give his winger that much space to go in. Fantastic tip on, fantastic effort, and he just went in. A great half for Huddersfield as they lead 24 points to 6, as Ollie Russell has been perfect with the boot. Salford started the second half really well after Andy Ackers jumped out from half, and Brodie Croft, after using his strength and bumping off 2 Huddersfield defenders, got round Tuilola here to score a spectacular Magic Weekend try. Look at the pace, and Tuilola here was desperate trying to get the Australian, but the Salford man goes in for a fantastic try to get the scores back to give Salford a fighting chance. Then Brodie Croft's step finds Sam Luckley, who scores underneath the posts and does his best Alan Shearer impression, the Geordie celebrating at St James's Park. Brodie Croft turns on the style, and Luckley had the strength and speed to get over the line. Another angle at that. Good step off his right foot. Good vision. Weren't expecting the forward, but the forward went in for his Shearer. But it was Huddersfield that scored the last points of the game as they worked the ball left through Ash Golding's half-back rail, Theo Farge, and then Tuilola here's tip on by Jermaine McGilvray. A gap to score on the right edge. Just a simple Lola here pass, tip on and pass. Brushed up Salford defence, could not mark McGill. Despite all this, Huddersfield come out with the win, 30 points to 18. Huddersfield did have 2 attempts at drop goals, which were charged down or hit the post, that led two try decisions being overruled by the video referee, both for offside. And Salford didn't have much more in attack as Huddersfield climbed to third place, for the time being at least. The second game of the day saw Catalans Dragons face Warrington Wolves, and many felt at the start of the season this would be a clash between two of the chasing pack, but that is not the case. While Catalans are very much in the mix, yes, they're less consistent than last year, but a win against the champions last week underlined their credentials. Warrington, meanwhile, lost to Salford, having led by 10 points with 10 minutes left. Their defeat leaves them looking behind them in the table rather than forward at present, despite their star-studded squad, as its rebuild continues. A win for Toulouse and defeat here would make them sweat for sure. Catalans have been hit by a trifecta of disciplinary problems after their win against St Helens, with both Michael McAlorum and Dylan Napper banned long-term, and Sam Cassiano also weakened their pack. That compounds their injury issues, with Arthur Morgs, Tom Davis and Michael McMeekin all injured. Matty Ashton, though, is back for Warrington. However, Mike Cooper misses out through illness, compounding their recent injuries to Carl Amor and Joe Philbin. George Williams should return to the side, whilst Matty Nicholson could make his debut. And here are the two teams. Warrington Wolves have gone again with their new backline partnership, with Gareth Widdop at fullback, Josh Foulis, Peter Matautia, Jake Wardle, who saw his parent club win last time out, and Matty Ashton making the squad. Stephen Ratchford and George Williams are at halfbacks, while forwards are Robbie Mulhern, James Harrison, Ben Curry, Matty Nicholson makes his debut for Warrington, and Jason Clark. Darryl Clark is at in halfback. On the bench, Thomas McKaylee, Joe Bullock, Oliver Holmes and Briley Dean, who recently signed a new contract with the club. For the Catalans Dragons, Sam Tompkins, who gave away 50 Magic Weekend tickets for the Catalans game, starts at fullback, with Arthur Romano on the one wing and Fuad Yahar on the other. Sami Sarnilangi is in the centres with the returning Tyrone May, while Mitchell Pearce and Josh Drinkwater are the half-backs. Gil Dudson and Mikkel Gudemond are the forward pairing, with Alex DaCosta directing traffic without Michael McAlorum. Matt Whitley and Benjamin Julian at second row, while Bevan Garcia returns as the captain. Paul Sanguia, who's been doing well recently, is partnered on the bench by the returning Joe Chan, Mathieu Laguerre, and also Corentin Lecam, who returns after a loan spell. And it was Warrington who got the opening try of the game after a Williams speculator out wide finds Jake Wardle, who passes on to Matty Ashton, who outstrips Tyrone May. But with Sam Tompkins covering, he passes back inside for Widdop, who scores, but painfully, as it looks like that he injured himself on the first fall. The try was given, and Ratchford adds the 2 for 6-0, but let's have a look at that again. Great support from Warrington players, but looks like that Widdop has done some serious damage there. George Williams, noticing that there's gap out wide, finds Jake Wardle and then Matty Ashton. Then back inside for Widdop, who stumbles and falls and rolls over the line. And it's Catalans who get the next points on the board after being camped on the Warrington line. Sam Tompkins nearly gets Matt Whitley over, but Sami Sonilangi dives over from acting halfback. The video referee was called upon to see if he actually got the ball down, and after a few looks, the decision was given to Catalan, and they were back in the game at 6-all. Fantastic effort by Whitley, Tompkins chiming in the line, but Sami Sonilangi using deception to get over for Catalans' first try of the game. Great effort, and you can see right there, he got the ball down. And it was Warrington that went in next as they lost Gareth Widdop after his try due to a shoulder problem. Arthur Romano couldn't bring in a George Williams kick, which meant that Jake Wardle got the touchdown. But the video referee wanted to check everything to make sure after the referee sent it up as a try. After a couple of looks, the video referee gave the try in favour of Jake Wardle. Looking back at it, the kick from Williams was very, very good, and with the chasing Ben Curry causing the mistake, it was just a simple task for Wardle to go over and score that try. Warrington were in yet again after Ratchford jumped out to dummy half. It was Ben Curry who went across the line, found George Williams, who found a simple pass to debutant Nicholson, who went over for his debut try. The controversial move from Wigan to Warrington seems to pay off early for Warrington as the young heart second rower, loose forward, goes over for his for the try for the wire. Just a quick look at it again. It was just a simple pass into a gap that found Matty Nicholson his first try. All done because Rashford caused the Catalan to retreat and not commit to a tackle. It was Williams and Rashford at the heart of the next points. Williams' kick was fumbled by Sam Tompkins and Rashford picked up to dot the ball down. The video referee was called upon to see if there was any offside by Rashford, as he didn't initially want to chase the ball and leave it all to Williams, which kind of gave the impression that Rashford was offside. It did so to me. But after the video ref checked, he was onside and the try was given. Decent little grubber through, chased, then fumbled by Tompkins, and Rashford's good pickup, easy, scored the points. He converted his own try as well, and that meant we came to half time. But Rashford did enough to score 6 points and give Warrington the lead of 24 points to 6 over Catalans Dragons as the half-time hooter sounded. Catalans started off the second half very strongly, and the kick by Drinkwater was caught by Lecam, and Sengier found Mitchell Pearce, whose long ball was passed back by Sami Sonilangi, but caught by Josh Thulis, who got past Fuad Yaha, Alex da Costa, and outstripped the rest of the Catalans' defence to score for Warrington Wolves. The young winger was very composed in the entire matter after getting on the end of that long ball and Sami Sonilangi's knockdown. He got through Fuad Yaha's attempted tackle and ran 85 metres to score the first try of the second half. Catalans are again deep in Warrington half, but this time they get over through Sam Tompkins, who goes on the outside loop as a fullback run. From Mitchell Pearce's pass, he gets around Peter Metaltia to score in the corner. He's unable to convert the try, but it's 30 points to 10 to Warrington. Then to put the icing on the cake, Thomas McKayle's strength saw him stand up in the tackle and find an offload to Stephen Ratchford, who found Jason Clark, and the supporting George Williams benefited from all that good work by the Warrington team. Don't get me wrong, he dropped the ball off and kept moving with the play and came alive when Jason Clark got the ball. George Williams scored underneath the sticks to settle the game in Warrington's favour. McKaylee was big and strong and has done really well off the bench in that second half. Jason Clark running faster than he normally does for the team, and George Williams going over to complete the scoring for Warrington as they win 36 points to 10. against Catalan Dragons. Our final game of Magic Weekend, as it comes to a close, sees us with the Kingston upon Hull derby as KR face FC in Game 3 on Sunday. After promising starts to 2022, things have stalled for both Hull clubs recently. The Black and Whites have been ravaged by injury on the back of parting company with halfback Josh Reynolds, and were battered by Leeds last week at home, no less in a game that resulted in 3 suspensions. As for KR, they've lost 7 of the last 8 and have been down on a downward spiral since Tony Smith shocked the rugby league world, announcing he'd leave at the end of the year, which was doubled up with Tony Smith leaving the club. Well, after a shock defeat against Toulouse, the Robins pulled the trigger on Smith early, meaning Super League legend Danny Maguire takes his first game in charge as coach. It's going to be an interesting one. For Hull KR, Ethan Ryan and Jimmy Kinehorse make the squad despite injury scares last week, while Matty Staunton is unable to play after dislocating a toe. Ryan Hall missed out with rib cartilage issues, but Lachlan Coote is named in the squad. 3 players will be missing for the game for Hull through suspension for Kane Evans, Jordan Johnston and Liggy Sow. This will limit their usual forward power. The loss of Cam Scott to injury is also another blow. However, they do have 3 signings in their squad, with Jack Walker, Josh Sims and Ellis Longstaff, whilst they have skipper Luke Gale back in the 21. And now let's have a look at the teams. With the 3 loanees playing for Hull against KR, with Jack Walker at fullback, Josh Sim on the wing, and Ellis Longstaff, it is in the second row. It is a very young Hull FC team. A sign of things to come, we'll have to see. Darnell McIntosh, Connor Wynn, and Josh Sim join Walker in the back line, with Josh Griffin being the experienced man in the centres. Joe Loverdoer and Luke Gale returns in the standoff and scrum half positions, while Brad Fash and Chris Sarte will be led around by Danny Houghton as part of that spine. Jordan Lane and Jack Brown complete the lineup for Hull FC, but apart from Scott Taylor on the bench, it is youngsters. Jacob Hookham has played a few games this year for Hull FC, but Matty Laidlaw and Charlie Sievers are the 2 that join the bench as well. Lachlan Coote replaces Will Dagger at fullback, while Will Tate replaces Ethan Ryan at the wing, while Ryan Hall is missing, so Ben Crooks returns. Sam Wood is on one side, and Sean Kenny Dowell is on the other for the centres. Mikey Lewis and Rowan Milnes continue at halfbacks, while Albert Vette and Corbin Sims are the starting forwards. Dean Hadley, Frankie Holton and Elliot Minchella complete the forward lineup. Jez Litton will be coming on for Matt Parcells throughout the game as they switch their acting halfback roles. Jimmy Kinehorse and Will Mayer will be the experience off the bench, while Zach Fishwick, a youngster, comes on to the bench. It was Hull KR who started off the scoring after Lachlan Coote was closed down near the Hull FC try line. It was Albert Vette's miracle pass that got to Matt Parcell, who dove over and had enough reach about him to ground the ball. Now, it was a bit contentious to see where he had grounded the ball, but the video referee confirmed that he grounded it on the line. Going to show you a quick look at that in a few seconds. That pass by Vette. Arm wasn't touched. Play on. Gets the ball down. Did he do enough to touch the line? Here's a better view. Vette's pass. Matt Parcell. His reach. And he gets it down there. That made the score 4 points to 6 to Hull. 4 points to 2 to Hull KR after a penalty early in the game for Luke Gale put the scoring on. But Connor Wynn got the second try of the game after he went over to extend Hull FC's lead. Good pass by Walker, found Wynn, and Wynn used his strength to go through Tate. As if he wasn't there, to be honest. A great handoff. Oh, it was Rowan Milne that he went through. What a great try. Hull FC got another try after Joe Loverdewer found Connor Wrench again, and Connor Wynn again, and Loverdewer followed that up to go round underneath the sticks for the second try of Hull FC's afternoon. A great pass back inside. Oh, it was Walker that did that. It was a fantastic effort from all involved. Loverdewer just kept the move going, and he scored the second try of Hull FC's night. It was Hull KR that next went in, as Hull FC were 14 points to 0 up. And after Lachlan Coote came around the outside, it was Sam Wood who got in on the act after scoring in the right-hand corner. Milne and Lewis helped Coote find Wood, who buried his way through and scored a fantastic effort. Great try. Lachlan Coote wasn't having a good day with the boot, but his conversion of Sam Wood's try got it back to 14 points to 10. But then entered Mikey Lewis. After Hull KR continued to play hot potato with the ball and keep the ball alive, the ball found Lachlan Coote, who was tackled near the sticks. Matt Parcell went left first of all, and Albert Vete was held up just before the line. On the fourth tackle, when Parcell passed it out wide again to Mikey Lewis, who grubbed for himself and scored a fantastic effort just on a half-time hooter. The video ref checked the grounding and gave the try to the mercurial young standoff. Another look at it from behind. He just thought, there's a gap, I'll grub her for myself, and beat everyone to the ball. Once more from behind it. Excellent vision, excellent awareness, and an explosive effort. Coote couldn't convert, so it was 14 points all at half time. Going into the second half, and it's Hull with the early possession, and Luke Gale and Jack Walker are both getting involved properly. And as Josh Sim found the third debutant, Ellis Longstaff, who scored his first try in Super League despite playing 40 games for Warrington. Great over-the-top pass from Jack Walker on the runaround, and he finds Josh Sim, and Ellis Longstaff goes in the corner. Tries must be like buses in rugby league, as Luke Gale's kick finds Longstaff on the charge, and he gets enough downward pressure to score a second try for Hull FC. His second try in 4 minutes, and he beats again Mikey Lewis to the ball. Excellent effort from the young second rower. And it's Hull Kingston Rovers looking for the response after this. Once Matt Parcell was held up just over the line and pushed back into the field of play, Jimmy Kinehorse goes from dummy half and in the scramble gets the ball down. The video referee was called into action once again by Chris Kendall, but gives the decision as the referee was looking for any loss of ball in the tackle, which the tackle wasn't complete. And he's still wrestling to get the ball down, which he does there. Once more from behind. Kainos doesn't get it over, doesn't. There. OKR still had a say in this game, and after a dummy and a burrow over, Mikey Lewis looks like he's got his hat-trick try for OKR. Chris Kendall again calls for the video referee as he was unsure about the grounding, but the video referee gave the try as Mikey Lewis did all the effort from a just listen basic flat pass. Dummy, Joe, go, strength, and speed to get the ball down. One more time from a different angle. The diminutive halfback has done really well during that game. At that point, Hull KR could have been gone in the distance, but Lachlan Coote was having a nightmare with the boots, and this gave Hull FC the impetus. And Darnell McIntosh spin pass out wide for Josh Sim seems to have given the game to Hull FC. There is a further penalty a little further on, and Luke Gale nails it from 40 yards. But Josh Sim gets another debut try for the young Hull FC side. Going from right to left, Darnell McIntosh was the instigator of this try. Great play by the winger. On the run around with Scott Taylor, and Josh Sim dives over for the lead. Luke Gale nailed 7 from 7, while Lachlan Coote hit 2 from 6 to give Hull FC a 34 points to 28 victory. And that is the conclusion of the Magic Weekend. So here are the results for the Day 2 matches. Huddersfield Giants 30, Salford Red Devils 18, Catalans Dragons 10, Warrington Wolves 36, Hull Kingston Rovers 28, Hull FC 34. Let's go on to the league table. St Helens are 4 points clear of Wigan Warriors, but Huddersfield Giants are now in third after they beat Salford, with Catalans Dragons losing to Warrington. Hull FC's victory over KR sees them in 5th place now, as Castleford Tigers are on 18 points also. Leeds Rhinos come up next after their victory against Castleford and move within 3 points of the Tigers. Salford Red Devils' defeat against Warrington sees them tied on points with Warrington now, as they move ahead of Hull KR, who are looking over their shoulder as Toulouse and Wakefield Trinity prop up the bottom of the table. So that's it for another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe and share this video worldwide, as well as clicking that notification bell for any updates on new videos that may be coming your way. Tell me in the comments below what your thoughts are on the 3 games and who was the performance of the weekend. Individually, Mikey Lewis. Hat-trick in a losing side. In a cultural side, he's going to be the one that drags them into the top 6 if they get there. Their injuries are too deep to make any difference. Anyway, Salford versus Huddersfield. Apart from the not crowd bit, Salford did turn up. Huddersfield did really well and won the game. That's what they needed to do. And Catalans versus Warrington. Surprise from that point of view, with Warrington winning. Those changes like Daryl Powell has done are starting to work already. That left side, it's okay. But if they come up against the side that is drilled for the edges and also big in the middle, they won't go far. They won't win against them. Maybe get a few points, but a decent size side like St Helens, they almost beat them in the last one, but the changes in the squad will mean that they're not going to beat Saints in the next one. You do. Anyway, I'll digress on that front. Just tell me in the comments below what your thoughts are of the entire weekend. I enjoyed the spectacular action on the pitch, and day one's crowds were fantastic. Good start and something to build on. Still have a gripe about the entire event not being sponsored. They had Dacia last year. Why was there no title sponsor with the Magic Weekend? You tell me in the comments below. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please remember to share this video worldwide. And I'll wish you all the best, to stay safe, and I'll see you in the next episode.